This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast episode 619. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to get geeky with y'all, yins. Oh, after the dialect talk we had with Walt last week. So, first of all, Chill is on assignment, getting ready. I think he is hunting his turkey down by hand right now for Thanksgiving in the woods of Dormont. So there's a lot around here. I've seen them all around the city over the years. So, but we do have back with us the Duds, or the somebody. I literally just had a conversation where the spell check took over, and now she is the Rudders.
Yay, the Rudders.
We were talking about you over at 2PW for some reason, and for Papa Judo.
Yeah, I just show up everywhere. You
made an appearance. You made your championship appearance over at 2PW this weekend, I understand.
That should have been my awesome thing. Oh, wait, I don't know if that's a thing yet. Ooh. Secret.
Okay. Nothing to see here. But you were there. Well, we can confirm that. You were there. And you are the 2PW Kicking Cancer's Ass champion, as we know. Yes, absolutely. Also back with us of the iPhoneography podcast, he is Dave Potter and runner extraordinaire. I saw you just went out for an outdoor run just a little bit ago. You're braver than I guess it is warm, a little bit warmer today.
It's a little bit warmer. It's much better than it was over the weekend. So, going at lunch when it's in the mid-40s, that's shorts weather.
I'm basically using my treadmill until it stops right now, which is about like a mile, 1.2 miles into every walk I do. So I think I'm looking for some Black Friday deals for treadmills. If anybody, a nice cheap treadmill. I don't want to spend that much on it. I don't think we spent much on this one, to be honest, either. So, but anyways, I don't want to go out in the cold. I just don't want to go out in the cold, Potter. I just don't want to do it.
Well, you bundle up, you get moving, you feel nice and toasty. That's
not what I want to do. It's just not what I want to do. No. I'm
the only one who likes to get out and start running when it's actually below 50.
So no, 40 is my limit. I've gone down to 40.
Okay.
And I've just said no. I don't even want to try it beyond this. So if there's a chance of ice, I'm out. Okay? Because my clumsy ass will have myself with a broken angle on the side of a hill here in Beachview, wondering how the hell I'm going to get back. Okay? Like, no, this is not happening. Okay?
No. Ice is my limit.
I need to protect myself from myself at this point, and not set myself back and be safe with this stuff. So,
no, you do.
Yes, absolutely. That's my limit.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna see if we can acquire a new treadmill, because I don't think I'm fixing this thing. Anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. You can check us out at AwesomeCast.com. You can also email us at AwesomeCast@sorgatronmedia.com for any comments or anything else about the show. Tweet us at AwesomeCast for as long as you can. We have not done the takeover. I guess we should start doing that and get our placeholders and all the new social medias. Maybe we'll talk about that. Actually, we will probably be talking about that a little bit later in the show, because social media is so interesting right now, and I am excited. And also, of course, Facebook. We have a lot of great discussions over on the Facebook group for AwesomeCast. And we are also on Discord and Reddit. I know a lot of people just rediscovered Discord. So, hey, we're over there. Hop in and let's start a conversation over there and start a community. Also, subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app, of course. And we would love if you... I threw this out there on the wrestling show, and I know not everybody here is a wrestling fan, but if you are interested, if you send me a screenshot of a review that you've done recently for us on one of the podcast apps, namely probably Apple or Google Podcasts, and screenshot that, send it to AwesomeCast@sorgatronmedia.com, and I'll give you a free month of Indie Wrestling Network. So, so what I have to give away. So but anyways, a little something if you're up for it. And also, we are live here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're over here on the AwesomeCast Facebook, YouTube, and the Sorgatron Media Twitch page right now. And of course, thanks to our friends at PostIndustrial.com for sharing the show as well. Also, a huge thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. Our friends, the executive producer level, Brian Crawford of pjsmuseums.org. At the coffee club level, Matt Weller, Cynthia Klosky, and Mike Pound. And at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, and Dave Bonner. Hey!
Hey!
You guys can support the show too at patreon.com/awesomecast. And hey, we do a thing on Wrestling Mayhem Show where if you want us to say anything specific with your name or a way to say your name, that's gotten only slightly out of hand recently over there. You should see what I do for somebody every week on the show. We basically have a chant for we have a whole thing for them. But you can't
just pay us enough. We'll do whatever.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, I'll do it for the dollar person. I don't care. Actually, the biggest one is our longest dollar contributor over there at Wrestling Mayhem Show. So, no, if you have some kind of shout out or something you want at the beginning of the show, along with your name, please hit us up. Hit the message over there, or hit the email address, and on Patreon, or hit the email address, and we'll get into it. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. So let's get on to awesome things of the week. And please, if you're in our chat room, and actually I need to pull the chat room up still, we are looking for your what are you thankful for in tech and geekery this week on the show. So I do encourage you to do that and participate. So if you want to drop that in the chat room or tweet us out there after the fact, hashtag in the corner of the video, hashtag AC619 if you're into that, and we'll see what is up there. Where is, oh, there it is. There's our live feed. Okay. And I'm sure my mom will hop in and and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. I'm going low tech for this one, guys. So apparently I am a fidgeter. I don't know, Katie, if you've noticed this on our trips, but apparently I always have to have my hand moving, and to the point where it has been noticeable by my wife. And so I don't know where we were in the last few weeks, and I'm sure I had something going in my brain, and I'm doing something with my hand, and she's like, I need to get you one of these things, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, it's a cube with a bunch of stuff on it, and you'll just do stuff with it. It is a fidget cube, according to Amazon, and if you're on audio, it's literally got like a light switch on one side. It's got like dials and a rolly ball that clicks on another side. I should get that a little closer. There's a joystick on one side. There's like these buttons, like dice dots that are buttons. So it's very clicky. It's very moving and everything. So this thing came in over the weekend. I had it Sunday when we got in and sat down and watched the wrestling pay-per-view from the weekend with some friends, and found that in playing with this, I only picked up my phone a couple of times during a 4-hour show we were sitting and watching, versus typically that's when I would be picking up, scrolling, and just going into whatever and going through whatever like motions with my phone. So already right off the bat, I was noticing a noticeable difference in behavior with this thing, and there's not much to it. It is a posh fidget cube stretch anxiety pressure relieving toy. Greatly, then there's a bunch of descriptive stuff in there as well. It is. I didn't even see how much this was when she bought it.
$9.
It's like $8.40.
This one's basically $9.
$8.48 over there. So it's an easy. It's starry purple because it's me. But it does come in several renditions there on the page. This is pretty great, actually. So, and she got something else that came today, and I wasn't sure entirely what it was about, but I guess they look like they're strips of stickiness that you like. They're tactile things, once again, for you to kind of rub your hands on, I guess, when you're getting a little bit stressed and things like that. So I started thinking about that. I'm like, why am I like this? But I realized I sit in front of a mouse and a keyboard or a video switcher or a camera in my hands like almost the entire day. And so if I'm sitting there watching something, my hand's going crazy. I think I messed her. I think it was during a movie like we were at I think when we saw Black Panther a couple weeks ago, that must have been what she was talking about, because I will like, grab her hand and do like weird things with her thumb or something like that, because my hand just keep moving, and she's like, yeah, you're rubbing my thumb raw, stop it, so like that kind of thing, or my legs moving or something. And this has been, I don't know, this has been my this is pretty good. I've been trying, there were people there and we're all watching, so I'm trying not to, because there's a little bit of clicking to some of these things, right? So I'm trying to figure out the things that are like not going to annoy people next to me and not have that pen clicky sound to it or something, right? Like hopefully I'm not doing this so much on the show, but if I am, I can do it like over here, and I don't think you're going to hear it on the microphone. But also like that's the kind of thing that if you see me do like an odd switch, sometimes it's just my finger just wanting to press something. It's something I fought for a while, and sometimes it happens to me. It does happen to me in the middle of big productions, and something happened this weekend where I accidentally queued like I didn't load something, or I clicked something because my finger on the mouse got a little itchy. And because the commercial was queuing next, and I clicked it just like in the middle of the match announcements, and it played on the big screen in the thing in front of 500 people. I'm like, oh my god, and I was like, how do I get back? How do I get back? How do I get back? Like that's the kind of stuff that gets me in trouble. And so how do I do that? So I may be playing with these during productions. We'll see if that helps things as well. And that's like that one thing that sometimes gets me in trouble, something like that. So I don't know. Do you guys have a need for something like this? Maybe it makes it worse. I don't know.
I have a question. Is this the first time you've seen a fidget cube?
Yes.
Wow.
I had no idea what she was talking about when she explained it to me. I'm like, you mean like fidget spinners? Like I know fidget spinners. Like, is this? Am I late to the party? I must be late to the party on this thing, since there's like a variety of them on Amazon.
It's okay, but I just curious because like you make me feel much younger than I am. Because
what? Wait. What?
I know these things, and like way back, and you're like, I just discovered this thing, and I'm like,
oh, way back. This is the first I've heard of
how
it.
way back? Like, where was this? Wait, is this just because of kids? Like, listen, we all know.
The kids have been using these for a while.
We all know you fit in with the kids better than we do. Okay, first of all. And so no, I've been out of the touch of this kind of thing for a good while. I think I missed the fidget spinner.
Kickstarter was 2016.
Oh, this was a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I had to pull it up in 2016.
Okay. And they're obviously doing pretty well for themselves, I'm sure.
Okay, and honestly, I don't feel as bad, because when you said way back, I thought you were going to say, oh yeah, 20 years ago, they were giving this to kids who had trouble keeping still, and it's been a big thing for the last 20 years.
I thought you were about to tell me you had one in high school.
Well, here's my doodad. I have a thingy on my desk that amuses me, and it's this little thing. It just, you pull on it. And
what is that?
it's like kind of, it feels, it's like just stretchy.
It's like a stretchy band. Like I thought it was one of those stretch bands, like exercise stretch bands for a moment when I saw it, but or it's those sticky hands you used to get out of the quarter gumball machines,
Yeah, but not sticky at all. It's no. It's not sticky at all, but like it's just definitely stretchy and just kind of like weave it in between fingers and kind of just like boop, boop, boop. So yeah, that's what I play with at my desk. What else do I have? I got these I think last year. They were part of the breast cancer donation bag, and they gave us, it was really nice. It was Sullivan, which is the plumbing company, and Cancer Bridges, I think it was, or they gave us these bags, and they had like these kind of like fidgety, like you have the fidgety things, and like this one's cute. I don't know if you can see it, but he's a little pea pod, and then you squeeze it and little things pop out, and the middle one has a cat face on it, but it just feels like you're squeezing a little pea pod. So like just kind of something to kind of take your mind off things. And then this one I don't ever use. It's metal. It looks like a tiny scrunchie, but you can roll it, or like if you go on your finger. I don't know. I don't use this one. I just prefer to just play with this guy. But yeah, so there's all kinds of things, and mine are all quiet. So you might have to look into some quiet options too. Like you could have the noisy one at home, and like your pocket one could be the quiet one.
Yeah, at that point where the clicky, like she starts getting mad because the clicky has started to drive her nuts. Then like that's when she'll be like, okay, I'm sending you the soft ones. I'm gonna look real quick. I'll bring this up too. Because there's the other one she got me, and how did I lose all my Amazon? 1 second here. Oh, that's loading over here. Why is my Amazon not loading? Because I looked at them and they're just like they came today, and I'm like, I need instructions. I don't know what you're talking about, and she knew what these things were. So I don't know. Maybe she was looking for her own anxiety. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not in on this whole thing. Because I'm just a danger to myself and others. There was strips. These are anxiety sensory cute stickers. Fidget texture, calming. Oh, I hate these titles that they do on this. Like, tell me what it is. Yeah, there's stuff like this. They're just, I guess they're not sticky. They're, I guess, like.
Oh, it's more of a.
They're like sandpapery, maybe.
Yeah, so that's more if you're like exceptionally anxious. Just kind of when people say you just feel the texture of something is trying to distract your mind from going like 50,000 miles an hour by focusing on like, I guess I can just rub this and it's a texture and I can just feel the texture.
Yeah, like there's people, there's pictures of people putting on the backs of their phone, on their laptop, someplace. I don't know. I guess I do that with like the edge of my phone. Like I find myself I got a new case relatively recently. I'm still kind of discovering like, oh, this is a soft part and things like that. Like I'm really big about that kind of thing, and I'll play with it to a certain extent, right? So man, I got some problems, I guess. So,
no, I mean, like you figure, like you said, we're constantly, working. I work here. I work here. I work on this thing here. Or I'm basic with a pen. There's constantly something in our hands doing things, and it's the same thing. Like when people are trying to quit smoking, and they find things to do with their hands. The same kind of repetitive thing that your brain just kind of builds these little pathways, and you just got to kind of like stop it and then redirect.
Yeah, I hear that.
I may be looking into that to maybe work on biting my fingernails.
Well,
okay. I should rephrase that. Biting the skin around my fingernails because I have no fingernails left.
Well, here you go. Take one of these. Okay. Yeah. Here you take one of these guys, and it'll be great. And also, here is a wonderfully adorable animal super work. Keep it up, koala. A tiger that says "You rock." These are more of those sensory strips stickers. You got a way to go bunny over here. There you go. You need that little alligator with the "You did it."
Aww,
there you go. So if you come to the studio and you find a lot of these strip stickers all over the studio for some reason, that's the problem. I feel like I'll go crazy and just put it everywhere my hands would be. That seems
just like touching.
That seems problematic.
All kinds of weird stuff.
It's like you're like, why are these on my wife's clothes? Well, So,
let me. Okay, that reminds me from a movie.
That reminded you.
Well, no, not that. But the touching sensory part. Was it Get Me to the
Greek?
Yes, where the one guy so he wouldn't like completely lose his mind, went over to the fuzzy wall.
Yeah,
and he had fuzzy wall. Yeah, calming.
Wasn't
calming
he also
fuzzy
on
wall.
acid though at the time? Wasn't that the joke?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But you know what? So you're running a small business in modern America. Your brain's probably as scrambled as someone who's on heavy drugs. Probably
that involves social media, video, and so many interesting personalities. Let's put it this way. Yeah. So, I guess that makes sense. So I guess I need something. it's hopefully better than taking anxiety medicine. So, because apparently I was asked point blank today, do you need something for your anxiety? I'm like, yes, I have gummies. I was like, do you need something for the daytime for your anxiety? I'm like, oh, I see what you're getting at here. So, anyways, let's move on here. Dutters, what is your awesome thing of the week?
It's a subpar awesome thing. My brain is speaking of brain being 1,000 places. Tuesday is Giving Tuesday next week.
Yay!
Yeah, I know. So Friday, I don't know if in your world. I'm sure in your world, but like today was like the last day to get out email blasts. If you were going to send them before, tomorrow's people are in the office.
We just got approved on a project for something for Tuesday, so I don't know how we're going to do that. So
you can do it. I have faith in you.
Yeah, well, it's Missy's project, so I don't know. I don't even know what the extent of it is. She's like, so we got to approve of this thing. I'm like, wait, that's Tuesday? Like, how are we doing? What are we doing again? So...
Hey, if it's local, I can tell you about Give Big Pittsburgh. I know all about
it's with somebody, and I want to give a quick shout out. And I'm sorry, I'm stepping on your thing. It's relatable though. But one of the big guys, one of the big people with Giving Tuesday was our friend Chris Whitlatch, and he actually. When Giving Tuesday was like a big technical hassle that because everybody through the Pittsburgh Foundation they would funnel through money, and there was that problem that always happens. Hey, Ticketmaster recently had this problem, right? He's the one that figured out how to make that not crash year after year when they did it. The technical issue. I don't want to say it out loud because I don't know if that's something I'm supposed to know or not. But it's very obvious when you think about it. And I deal with a couple companies that deal with that 1 day a year flux deal, right? But anyways, so and that's, I think, before we had these great tools like Venmo or things like that to do something like Giving Tuesday. So what is Venmo doing, Katie?
So Venmo, so my brain is gone from like today's the last day to do this because Black Friday, and then Monday is Cyber Monday, and then Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, and then Wednesday is Thank You for Giving on Giving Tuesday. So today was the last day. Oh wow,
I thought the Cyber Monday Black Friday stuff was going crazy.
Oh no, it's such a Be glad you're not involved with email marketing.
Yay! That's your superpower.
And so like my brain was in the non-prof world because that's a whole other bag of worms if you've never lived there. But so Venmo is expanding into some more, they did some updates, and Venmo's been pretty much Venmo for a bit, and it's a PayPal owned company, and PayPal kind of updated the way they did things, so Venmo kind of followed suit.
I forgot PayPal bought them. I forgot that PayPal bought them.
Yeah, same. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. I'm at this point where I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot who doesn't PayPal own or who doesn't this company own at this point. It's a lot of that happening.
Who isn't owned by another company at this point?
Yeah, I was like, who's an independent company? No one.
By the way, taking offers.
You want to buy us? So like what they're doing is the ability, you could donate to charities through Venmo, which was a thing. And essentially charities, what they would do is they would create an account, and it was more of that you paying a charity versus like donating to a charity. So now they're going to give you the ability to search for nonprofits, like approved nonprofits, and donate to them that way. And then also it's supposed to get you in front of more folks. Like it wouldn't just be your immediate network. You would have to, find your information or friend you. You would be able to like search for specific, I don't know. I'm not sure. It doesn't really say, like I tried, so I updated it and it doesn't, it was supposed to take effect today, it looks like, but it doesn't look like, at least for me, that's happened yet. So maybe by next week we'll know some more, but it makes it sound like you're gonna have an easier time having folks find your particular nonprofit instead of, the searching for the name and the having to be friends. And they also changed the way that you pay. There's some more options, as in you can request money from more than one person at a time, which if you are the person who is buying the Taylor Swift tickets and you have to request the $8,000 from all of your friends to pay the tickets because you had to buy them from StubHub. And
Mm-hmm.
but you could do that instead of like having to go, okay, I got to find this friend. So you can add multiple friends, which is a pretty cool thing, I think.
I dig it. Oh no, that's good for Venmo. Venmo to be expanding those, because I know that's always been a massive hurdle for a lot of nonprofits to figure that out. I think I think one of our clients was just dealing with that recently, actually, because I think they're technically an NGO, and our donation base on top of selling tickets for events. So like that's been the whole thing. I know Missy has been dealing with some clients as well. So but no, that's very cool. And I think they're doing a Giving Tuesday as well. Oh geez. No wonder. No wonder my wife is like, here, take this so you're not annoying me, because I have important things like Giving Tuesday for multiple clients I have to deal with, kind of thing. Here, click this box. So
well, the fun thing about Giving Tuesday and Give Big Pittsburgh is essentially the local level of Giving Tuesday, and trying to explain to people that it's like they're kind of the same thing but not. Is fun.
Yep. Dave Bonner, what is your awesome thing of the week? Oh, this was very cool. I lucked out last week on this, but I'll let you do your thing first.
Okay. Well, for the first time in almost 50 years, we have a crewed capable craft that went around the moon. The last time we sent a crewed capable craft near the moon was the last Apollo mission, which happened in December 1972. So the fact that not only did it launch, it was damaged during the hurricane that went through, so there was a possibility that launch was not going to be successful. But the pictures that are coming off of it, and I think NASA and people are smart enough to know how important these photos are. They're maybe not important in terms of you do get some science off it, but it's more of when you look at the pictures from, like literally the dark side of the moon, which is really the far side. But you can see these pictures, and especially the ones where you have the giant moon, you have the spacecraft, and you have the little disk of Earth in the one shot. And I know that when you think, at least when I think of shots from spacecraft around the moon, you still think back to Apollo days.
In fact, just a couple years ago,
these things are.
Do you remember when I think CNN Films put this out? I was in the theater. I went to the theater to watch this. They did a film based on Apollo 11. They took in and restored and upscaled all the imagery that they captured around the launch, around the moon, around everything that they had. And this was all, and somebody brought this up on another show about this was all film that needed to be processed after the fact, versus we are actually having it sent down here to Earth as we're going, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and it's just in the fact that it will be the furthest away crewed capable object that we ever sent from the Earth. Because it's going a little further out than any of the Apollo missions did back in the late 60s, early 70s, when they went around the moon and landed.
Okay.
And like the images are just kind of mind blowing, and it's expected to return on December 11th.
If you roll that, so we're going to the moon and back. I think in most people's minds, that's like, well, so what do you mean we're going further? And that's my understanding too, is we're going out, circling the moon, and coming back.
Well, this mission, yeah.
Yes.
But this mission is going an extra, I think, 10 to 15,000 miles out further. So it's not going significantly further out. But when it's actually going into, to the moon orbit to get captured, it actually went further out than the Apollo missions.
I see.
Yeah. Plus, the one thing that, and a lot of people are like, well, we did the moon. Why can't we just redo what we did last time? Which, that's a fair question. And the answer is, when they were building it, they were more important. They cared more about getting the mission done than documenting everything. So as they're building, they're like, well, this doesn't work. We're going to shove. Okay, that works that way. they didn't stop to say, okay, now write that down.
Okay, so they built the thing, but they didn't make a manual to build another one.
No.
Is what we're saying.
Exactly.
And when they shelved the program, we had to start from square one with new technology. So, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically it and even if we had the plans, we don't have the tooling and the manufacturing capabilities we did back in the late 60s and early 70s that we did.
And it's probably not a good idea to send all that stuff to China to come back and do the thing.
No, especially since they already have their own space station, which they just finished this past week.
Okay.
Smaller than the International Space Station, but they have their own 3-module space station, and China wants to go to the moon too. So they're have their own investments on that. So, and right now the plan is crewed. That is the correct term, and it's the official term. Crewed, not manned anymore. There's going to be a crewed mission that's a flyby to the moon first that they're going to test out. And I think they said 2024. And then in 2025, 2026, assuming everything goes good, that's when we'll have the landing on the moon.
And so this is significant because, again, I'm always astonished when, discovering the idea that we have not been on the moon in most of our lifetimes. I think we were all three here when we discussed this last time. So I think Potter, I think you may have just got it. No, you just missed it. You just missed it. That's right.
I just missed it.
So that's wild to me that that's literally not been something that we've that has existed in our lifetimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to see that, I lucked out that I got home when I got in. They had actually delayed the launch a little bit last Tuesday night, and I got in, saw the message from Jenny, who's down there for a third time to try to actually finally see it this time, and she did. And I'm like, oh, this is still happening. I woke Missy up and put it on YouTube, and I was like, we're watching the launch that we missed when we were down there. So, and I must have watched it for an hour. And they're talking about everything, and I was really astonished by some of the stuff where they were talking about the idea of going to the moon, finding ice at the South Pole of the moon, so they can do manufacture everything they need to be up there and do more things. And I'm just like, this is just like For All Mankind. This is just like watching For All Mankind. Is exactly what they talk about in that show. It's just an Apple TV show where it's like, what if the Soviets got there first and the space race never ended, basically, which meant in their continuity we would end up having ended up on Mars by the 90s, and also technology would have gone quicker. Because there's a lot of things like they implemented like video phones in the 80s and things supposedly because they were still pushing technology, right? So. No, that's incredible. And this is the biggest thing because this is going to inspire more people to get involved in it, right?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
But
now, one thing that I saw, and I know she goes by Jane Pitt, I believe, on Twitter.
Yes.
Jenny's last article reminded me something from a book from Penn and Teller. That it's the timing when it comes to the launches. You see the launch. You see the brightest light you've ever seen in your life. And it's quiet. There's nothing going on. You're expecting to hear something because of the amount of light you're seeing. You're expecting to hear something, and it's nothing. And then you don't hear the noise. You feel it. Because especially with this one, which is the most powerful rocket ever launched. This is more powerful than the Apollo, the Saturn V, which launched the Apollo missions. It did a little damage to the launch facility because of it had that much thrust when it went off. But
by the way,
it's basically like slamming into you.
The article, it's in her Substack, so I get it in the email. But okay. This is her Substack, breathingspace.substack.com, and go check out her First Light article, and it talks about her time there and everything. Definitely worth your time to go check that out. A very, very cool article. And it was really cool. And of course, as a lifelong space nerd, self-admitted space nerd, it was great to see her experience that and see her reaction to everything. I've had the opportunity to see 2 SpaceX launches while visiting Florida, one at night, one during the day. And again, it's like it's a little bit. It's like, you know, you're a good distance. You're several, you know, maybe 10 miles away. Some of the places you can get to. And it is like, you know, and it's the light versus the sound kind of situation where you're just like, you start seeing it and then it starts hitting you when it's like, you know, halfway up into the sky. It's very, 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 very surreal. And of course, I think she probably obviously was in a much closer viewing area than I would have had an opportunity to get to the few times I was down there. So like that was very, very cool to see that. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. So. All right, let's get into, let's give a shout out. I want to give an extra shout out. Oh my God, our friends down at Slice on Broadway were having a night. I felt so bad because I showed up, and I guess there was a fundraiser for one of the local schools, and nobody told the staff today, so they were kind of losing their minds a little bit. So please, if you happen to be getting pizza, listen to this, checking our friends in Beachview at Slice on Broadway, please give them an extra special tip tonight because they're having a rough night with them tonight. But such great people. Even what they did, they handled everything professionally, and it was good to see. Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills, and South Side works, New York City style. Yins are made. Go check them out. SliceOnBroadway.com. Thank you to them for supporting the show for well over a decade. And apparently doing some great fundraiser work with schools that was going amazingly too well. Anyways, hey, we want to get into our awesome, what we're thankful for here, because this is the Thanksgiving week episode. But first, we had somebody reach out to us a few weeks ago about a Kickstarter that's coming up, and they had us at the name. You'll figure that out in a second, why that is. But we received a they haven't even started the Kickstarter yet. This is a pre-Kickstarter edition of the hardware, and I gave her right to Katie because I know she does all these meetings and she's on Zoom with us right now. And I said, "Here, Katie, here's a boop." So we're gonna touch base with everybody. We're gonna pass around the boop, and we're gonna try out the boop. And this is your boop of the week. You've had about 24 hours with the boop, and so what is the boop? First of all, we'll let you explain since you've been hands on with the boop.
I am going to unplug the boop so you can see the boop. Okay. The boop plugs in USB-C, and it has a controller that essentially, when I'm in a Zoom call, I could turn the mic on and off, the camera on and off, share my screen without having to do any shortcuts, not having to touch my mouse at all, but just using this little controller, which has a real nice click to it. We're talking about things and noises. This has a real nice click to it. And I used it earlier today, and I've been using it tonight, and it's super easy to just, and there's a light on it. It lets me know that the mic is on or mic is off, and which is really nice and super easy to see. And I could just, just turn things on and off. But it's been great. Like, I used it for an earlier meeting. I'm using it now. I think I had a second meeting. Yeah, 2 meetings today with it, and worked well for all day today. And like I said, really easy. Not having to memorize shortcuts because things just fall out of my ears, and not trying to find the mouse and going, oh, hey, hold on, let me go find it. Then you got to find it on the screen. Yep. And if I'm rocking 2 screens, I'm like, where's my mouse? And I'm like, where's the mute button for Zoom? And it's like, this is like right here in front of me, and I love it because it's just like, hold on.
The take on this is Boop is a pocket-sized gadget that helps you control your virtual meetings and avoid meeting bloopers.
Yes, bloopers with the bloopers.
But yeah, so it's your audio mute, it's your video camera kind of mute, and it looks like there's a share button on there as well, like a share screen button to activate that. So you can just kind of do that right off right off the bat. We use Zoom for everybody comes in remotely, and I was like, well, this is kind of perfect because I've kind of wanted a mute button for everybody along the way too, right? So this may be something like, honestly, like I kind of see this, and when I was on the call with with our friend over there, Boop. Our friendly Booper, if you will. So I was like this could be a really big podcasting device, because then it's a you want to have a mute button, a cough button of some sort, without getting like the big piece of hardware and tying that in, right? Like we have panic buttons for our commentators, but that's like overkill. Like it's hardware overkill for something like that, and it doesn't work with USB. So how many people are using USB mics, or you're using the AirPods or something like that, right? So it's just a USB device, and so they are pre-Kickstarter at this point. If you want to go check them out, they're a goboop.io. So you can find out more about that. And so we're going to play with it. We're going to see if this is an awesome thing. It's a awesome or bust kind of thing. And thanks for letting us get some hands on to it. So far, your first day with Boop is looking pretty good.
Yeah, you're not getting it back.
Oh no. Oh no.
There's a flaw in your plan.
Well, no, actually, Chilla's supposed to get it next, so we got to pass the Boop along until
he doesn't even show up for the show, so he doesn't get to be
okay. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. So,
well, he's off hunting his turkeys. I can boop.
He's pooping his turkeys.
Digital pooping.
Oh boy! So let's get into our what we're thankful for this year in the techie worlds, I guess. Let me go last, actually, because I feel like it's going to be a longer discussion if I go first. Potter, you said actually nice people you meet on social media.
Yeah, and there's so much, and it's easy to go on the negative because, as we all know, some people are not nice. Knowing the show I'm on, I'm going to use a nice term. Some people are just not nice, and we knew that from real life because you knew not nice people, and it seems like there's a lot of not nice people in social media, but there are an awful lot of nice people and people that you would interact. Yet the people that I interact with or people I see that there'd be no way I could meet these people in real life. And I think the best people on social media are the ones who interact the most. Not the people who use it as simple broadcasting, because there's some people out there who are like, I'm a big person on social media, I'm broadcasting out my message, and you rarely see them react with the people who are following them. And this is just something, maybe it's something new because TikTok's newer, but there are people I've followed on TikTok, and and you see interactions between people. And that is some really good things to see. And like one person on TikTok, I'm trying to remember his full thing. If you just look on TikTok for hammer yelling, literally hammer with an exclamation point. I think he was tank or something.
I was really worried to just search hammers.
No, it's safe. Trust me, especially on TikTok.
Yeah.
Especially on TikTok.
Or Matt Light's account.
He basically does a nerd gym where he's very It's a very positive thing to help people who are, because he's also big in the games, who's just very positive for everyone and positive with interacting with people, and trying to help nerds who are not traditionally the most fit people in the world get into fitness in a fun way without, sometimes the gym can be very oppressive. And so it's just one of those things where getting that and seeing the positive. And also for someone like myself who, hold on, I've got issues here. Sorry.
Obviously Dave needs a boop over there.
Yeah. Well, no. The problem is the giant boop I have on the computer here, which unplugged the wire when she got her big old fat butt on a cord here.
So now we need an anti-cat boop.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Rosie, we need an anti-cat boop for you. But it's like I do not, and I think a lot of people don't necessarily handle social situations well. So to say, well, I mean, in terms of, like, I can be around a crowd of people fine if I'm doing something.
Mm.
But if it's like, oh, we're just having a get together, hang out and just talk to people, I don't handle that well. But I can do it a lot easier online than I can in person, and make connections with people, even local people. You know, I've made people through the one running group I'm in who, you know, we have discussions because day of races, it's kind of hard to connect with people because everyone's getting their own thing ready. You know, and just being there are, you have to sometimes look for them, but just good, positive people that you can connect with.
I hear you. I mean, this kind of goes, and that kind of parlays into what I'm thankful for too. Like I wrote down here as my kind of note to myself is Wild West of social media communities. There was a little bit of craziness last week. I literally was in a car for like the majority of the day, like a good 8 hours in the car plus. Got out and I was like, why is everybody asking me if we should be on Twitter and how to get on Mastodon right now? Like, Dave, I think you asked me if you should even be putting videos on Twitter. And I'm watching everybody pretty much eulogize their time on Twitter as I'm tiredly like trying to prepare for the next day. And I'm like, what is happening? What do I need to be doing right now? You know, it's like a fire is happening. You know, and we've seen the last few days, I know wrestling communities are like, I'm on Hive social app. I'm on this thing on George Takei is on Mastodon and going crazy over there, right? And talking about how great it is, you know, and you know, we've had discussions about what should we be doing about this? How should we be reacting to this? What is this? What is this? You know? And I'm not I'm not concerned. You know, but I'm always like, I'm not concerned for the communities. The communities are going to find the next platform if something were to happen to Twitter. And not to get into everything that is or isn't happening to Twitter right now, but right now, I think objectively you can say Twitter has a problem, and people's confidence in Twitter as the place to go is shaken, and that's a problem. That's a major problem, regardless. You know, when people really don't know and have been made to feel that they don't know if that platform will be tomorrow, why invest all your energy in it? Why, you know, what about this community I built over here? You know, what about all these people that listen to me on Spaces twice a week? You know, and people don't know. Katie, what have we said for years? What have we said for years to anybody that would listen? You got to have a home base, right?
And it can't be a social media platform.
Yeah, that's right, because you can be ejected for any time, or it goes down. Hey, if you're making a lot of bank on TikTok right now, you should be really paying attention to these discussions that they're talking about taking it down because of the China implications. Now, right or wrong, it does not matter. What matters is if it goes down, what does that do for you, and if you built your business on there. So are you diversifying at that point? I feel like I'm a financial advisor at this point. This is not financial advice, by the way. Nope. But to me, I'm thankful for the communities. I think the strong communities will carry over. I'm thankful for going back into the Wild West of social media. I think it's been needed. I think it's been a long time coming. I've been expecting it. I've been really expecting it to come soon, whether it be everybody shedding off of Facebook for something they did to piss everybody off, or at least, as we're seeing on our side, the business management tools being so bad lately. And it's like, what are we giving our money to? Or even the issues that we've had with clients trying to give Facebook money has been a problem. But on the social side of things, you know, again, like, I'm watching the wrestling community, not a technical group. Sorry, wrestlers. A lot of you, like me, I know several wrestlers who are IT professionals, by the way. But still, like not a group that you're like, oh, they'll have no problem like signing up for a Mastodon. So like, no, I'm worried about them. You know, it's not an easy thing. It's heady, but also if you get on it, you're not worried about an Elon coming in and shaking you out of the tree. So that gets a lot harder if you do invest in something like that. And man, I got some interesting ideas for clients. Okay, I'll have to tell you after the show a random message I sent this weekend if you haven't already heard about it. But I look forward to finding the next thing. I find that exciting. I'm the person who's like, oh, we're in a new thing. Let's walk in, solve the problems, and figure out how we're going to run a show in 6 hours from now, to a pay-per-view. That's what I do every weekend, right? And I love the idea of like, okay, how do we start getting people on this? I'm still trying to figure out certain aspects of getting people over on Twitter and everything like that, right? And in some cases, only just now feel like I'm figuring some of the bits out for certain aspects. But I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the resiliency of these communities. We found each other once on these platforms. They're going to find each other again on the platforms. They're going to move as groups on these platforms, which should make it easier to figure out where to go next. Where is everybody you're following saying that they just opened an account? Because chances are they just did in the last week. And my hot tip for everybody is, if you're a business entity, pro wrestler, whatever, go get your name on every account that you're hearing about. You don't have to be there, but make sure you got it. So when Hive Social hypothetically becomes the next Twitter, and somebody else has, a friend of our show that I think has had name problems in the past, Lady Frost, doesn't have her name on there and has to go through that whole Lady Frost 3 bullshit, that we've all, like so many of us have had to deal with over the years. Get your thing now. Stake your claim in any possibility now before it's too late. So basically that's a branding thing there. So but no, that's my take on that. I'm looking forward to I don't know, I'm just like, bring on the chaos. I'm the Joker burning down all the money so that the monsters don't have to move on to something else, kind of thing, I guess, when it comes to this aspect of things. But I find I want to see who the new winners are going to be, I guess, because that's exciting to me, and I feel like the tech space has not been exciting in like a good 10 years, but hopefully we'll see what happens from that. So, Katie.
How am I supposed to follow those two?
I don't know. You're just like, I like this pen.
This pen.
Well, you didn't write anything down, so I just figured I was buying you time. So.
No, I was just seeing what you guys were talking about, and I was like, wow, that is great. That is really deep, and that is great. I think for me, being thankful for things in tech, besides, we're not beyond social media things that I am passionate about. And I told you, even when I eulogized my Twitter account, was like, everything I am is because of what happened on Twitter. And it's wild to think that I could just trace 90% of what I do, who I am, where I live, who I live with, to a social media platform, which is pretty darn wild.
And that was echoed by so many people too. Like, I saw so many versions of exactly what you said. That was astonishing. And I think if somebody who owned that company read those kinds of tweets and understood them and had any empathy for them, they'd be operating their business a little bit differently.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's wild that we'll probably never see something like that ever again. And which is just amazing to think about. So specifically, like one specific entity, like we'll see, like you said, within the different communities, but like just one specific entity like that is absolutely wild. I think for me, for being thankful for like tech stuff this year was having like, I can't tell you how many times I said thank you to my laptop. I got a newer laptop, and like having that and like being able to make my workflow easier because of little things, and like not being afraid to just like buy the thing to make it easier. I'm not talking spend all the money. To me, it was a lot of things of like, buy the thing to make the thing easier. Did I need multiple dongles? But yes, I did. And like, they got put in everywhere. Like, that was a thing for me this year. I am also the year. Did I freeze? Because
did you boop or something? I was trying to figure out what was going on there.
I have no clue. I'm moving on my thing, and I was like, oh, what's happening there? But also, I think I don't know, like I've really just enjoyed watching my friends discover technology that have not necessarily been involved with a lot of tech things, and being able to have conversations with them of like, oh, how does this work? And it's like, this is this, and this is welcome. And I think a lot of you folks have welcomed me to things that I've been like 100 years behind. Like, I love my Apple Watch, and like you guys have been like, Apple Watch, amazing, and HomePod, amazing. Even though HomePod and iPhone are not BFFs, and I'm grateful that you let me to be on a top tech podcast, despite the fact that I send you things like, currently my phone and my HomePod are playing 2 different Taylor Swift songs. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So maybe that should be the thing I'm grateful for. I'm allowed to still be on this show, despite the fact that I occasionally have a lot of those issues.
Listen, being a technology enthusiast and living in this world, it does not mean you're good at technology. You know, it does not mean, it means that you're accepting of technology, you try technology, and you don't give up when the technology does not always work out, because it will not, because it is not some sort of God mode. You know what I mean? You know, my site doesn't work today. Well, this is the thing that happens. What are we going to do about it? You know, unfortunately, is the thing that takes a lot of patience that not everybody possesses when it comes to these things, especially when this is their job, right? So, and it gets frustrating, and those kinds of things. But it takes a certain mindset. So, especially when you're like, my speaker just won't play music. Katie, we've had a relatively similar issue with our Google HomePods here in the studio, where the one back in the office has just said, I'm not playing music. And we're just like, what's going on with this thing, right? And Missy finally got fed up one day, took it off, reinitialized the thing on our account, and now it works. So I was like, okay, there you go. So like, that's the kind of thing that we're dealing with. So no, I think that's great. So I'm with you on that. I've made some tech upgrades, and so glad I did. And I think some of us get to a threshold where we can't sit on technology, you know. So like certain things, like, hey, this iPad's like from 2015. That's fine, you know. But our daily drivers that we need to get stuff done, and we need to not pull punches on those kinds of things. There's so much better stuff that brings us light years into the future, and gets more done, and helps our anxiety out a little bit every day just by being there, right? So also, this matches my case for my my MacBook, by the way. Yes, she's got her stretchy thing too. So oh, that's great. Well, those out there, let me double check. I saw a couple people in the chat room, see if they've put a thankful thing. If you, it's not too late. Thanksgiving's coming up here in just a day or so, depending on where you're listening to the show. Maybe you're listening while you're on your way to your folks. Please let us know. Hashtag AC619 on the social medias, or hit us up at AwesomeCast at sorgatronmedia.com. Hit us up on our Discord, our Facebook group, even over on the Reddit if you'd like, if that's where you live. And, you know, talk to us about, you know, what are you thankful for in the tech world this year? You know, I mean, and like I said, there's so much negativity around things, and I think I think it's good to find the positive in all these things, and also be cautious of the negative things. So thank you so much, Katie. Kate Dutters on the Twitter. You can check out the third part of our 3-part interview, Returning to Fishing Without Bait, just dropped today, fishingwithoutbait.com.
Mm-hmm. And I should have said my thing of the year was my emotional support cup from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes,
She's still carrying with me.
It's a Halloween theme. What does that say? Duncan is my boo? Yeah, and it's got little ghosties on there. Yeah. I'm just...
Your meme the other day that was like, please wash your emotional support water bottle. And I was like...
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has that problem. But yeah, I saw you with that thing like a week after Halloween, and I'm just like, oh, this is just the thing now, isn't it? Yep. Okay. All right.
This is my best friend.
You put a little Christmas tree on it next month, you know, or next week, I guess. So, hey, you got a Crucial Catch cert over there. Is that from your gala you went to last week?
No, this was from the Steeler game when they honored folks. Yeah, right, no, that was a different.
That's the other important thing I do. Katie is so fancy and on the town. You got the best life for Instagram right now. You know.
Everybody's like, "Oh, you're so cool doing cool things." I'm like, "Am I?" I just.
No. Yeah.
Your life is very Instagrammable. I just have a dog. That's my positive point for that. I don't get gussied up for anything.
It's just like the things that I do, and I'm like, yay, what fun things am I doing? Like, I don't know. Like, I just, it doesn't wrap, my brain doesn't wrap around the fact that, like, these are really, really awesome things. I'm just like, these are cool things that I get to do. And like, I don't know, like, I'm just a big goober.
I'm in a very similar place because I've sat at a couple of things the last couple of weekends and just be like, looked at Missy's like, this is fucked up that we get to do this. Like, this is a lot of stuff, so and get paid to do some of these things and get invited to some of these things and have these experiences is pretty incredible where we've kind of all ended up at this point. So
and we don't know how. I love it. I love that we're at these literally at these tables going, but this is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Like, she's saying she's hanging out with Jerome Bettis.
No big deal. That's cool.
Yeah. You're doing that. I'm having a surprise dinner with pro wrestling champions that are on TV, and it's just like, yeah, okay. Dave Potter's doing cool things too.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry I set you up for that one.
What are you?
Yeah, you can see me suffering while I run. Yeah,
hey,
that's cool.
Hey, Godspeed to you, literally. Okay, so I mean, I do not want to discount that at all because you are a braver man than I am. To go out in frozen nipple weather and do your thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what though, and to be honest, and this is just me, I would rather run in 30-degree weather than I would in 60 or 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, this past week, I signed up for 3 races, one in January, one in February, and one end of March.
Okay.
So as long as the roads are clear and there's no ice, I'm good.
If you got to check the snowplow report before you head out for your run, you might live in Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Luckily not Buffalo, where you could tunnel into the snow.
I love the one where it was a pile of snow and the back of a car sticking out of it, and the tweet was, Buffalo, explain to me what happened here. So, anyways, thank you so much, Dave Potter, Prop Pod on the Twitter, iPhoneography Podcast, of course.
Thanks for having me on, Sorg.
And I'm at Sorgatron on the tweets. I'm supposedly not going anywhere this weekend, but you can see some of the views from this weekend's adventures to Long Island, New York, and Stroudsburg, PA, I think I was, at the other end of the state. We had back-to-back productions with Flex Fighting and Maverick MMA. On Throwdown Sports and Spectation Sports, respectively. They were some interesting rides and mostly came out unscathed. So actually, the first thing I did when I got in the venue was like scrape my knuckle open and started bleeding everywhere. And I'm like, well, this is a good start, new guy. So on a new venue. But thank you, everybody. We will see you guys next week, and have a few more weeks of the awesomeness before we hit our holiday break. And here at the end of the month, get ready for those predictions and everything. So we will see you guys next week. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.